Hello, Dr. Peter Martoni here. I tried to do this video earlier today and I had a little bit of a technical issue, but now we are live and I wanted to review, as we are home now in quarantine, a lot of my patients and a lot of different people are, they're at home, they're on a computer, but the workstation has changed. The workstation is such where now they're on a laptop and they're sitting on their desk and they're all curled up into a little ball, and people are coming in pain because the change of their workstation. So where a lot more people now have standing desks, but people are working on their counters, they're sitting down and they're working from their couches, and that you're curled up into little balls. So if you're curled up into a ball and you're dying at home, and you really, there are some things that you need to know and understand of why it's unhealthy for you, because I don't know if you've heard this before, but sitting is the new smoking. There is something that prolonged sitting does, and prolonged inactivity does, that you need to be aware of, especially if you do it, and how you can maintain your health and well-being moving forward. So we are going to dive in. I'm going to tell you the considerations. First thing I want to let you know is when you sit down, right? What is this doing? This is basically, in essence, not moving. So you'd say, well, Doc, why is that important? If I don't move, so who cares? Why do I sit down for 15, 20 minutes, and then all of a sudden I get up and, oh man, I can't move because my knees bother me, my hip is bothering me? That is because lack of motion causes swelling. So what happens, our bodies work like a pump, right? Our bodies are these little pumps. Picture these balloons. So when you have a joint that's a balloon, and what happens, it needs to get nutrients, and it doesn't get blood supply, so it swells. So if a joint and then so it gets nutrients, so it gets nutrients by swelling. So if you don't move, that there's a faucet that's on, and your joints keep swelling and swelling and swelling until you then move, and it's like, oh man, and then it takes 4, 5, 6 steps to start moving the pump. And then once you turn the pump on, then you actually get the swelling out of the joints, and then you can move. Most people, when they wake up in the morning, they do what? Well, actually, hold on, sorry. So when that joint is swollen, one of the ways that the body tries to get rid of the inflammation is it constricts the muscles. So the muscles are tight. So when you're tight in your muscles due to lack of motion, the problem isn't the muscle. The problem is the muscle squeezing to push the fluid out of the joint. So one great exercise to do is jumping jacks. So if you're sitting down and you're typing all day long, if you don't have a standing up, and do jumping jacks, because what that does, that starts the pump in your joints, and it gets the swelling out of your joints. So instead of stretching, where you're putting your joint under stress to stretch the muscles, stretching, especially not in the morning, it's the worst time to stretch, because all your joints are swollen and the muscles are tight, not because the problem's with the muscle, the muscle's tight because it's trying to push the fluid out of the joint. So you can help it by just doing some jumping jacks. Get moving. That's number one. Jumping jacks and get moving. That's the first thing that you need to do. And as you sit your ass cheeks on the chair, right, and you're sitting and you're looking like this, another thing that's happening is, and the reason why they say sitting is the new smoking, is because when you're not moving and you're sitting and you put your little butt cheeks on the floor, there's a portion of your brain is like a top, okay? So you take a top and you spin it. The faster that top goes, the more focused it is. The slower the top goes, the more all over the place it is. So your body needs spin. Your brain needs spin. It needs to be spinning. There are different ways that you can do it nutritionally, but one of the things that you need to do is you need to move around. You need to work on your balance. So if you want maximum focus and efficiency out of your brain and to maintain brain health, you need to work on your balance. And I don't have it in here. Oh yeah, here it is. So get yourself one of these little wobble boards, and all you do is, and the more that you sit down, and this isn't even when you go back to work, You want to be working on balance. So see how my body is shifting? What's happening right now is my brain is controlling, my brain is getting senses from all over my body. And that stimulates the brain and it keeps you focused. So even as important as exercise so isn't balance. So the more that you sit, the worse your balance is going to get and the more important it is for you to work on it. So number one, get some jumping jacks done. Number two, work on your balance. Now, if we are going to be like this all day long, this is number three, and we're going to have this forward head posture and this forward head focus, that you'll walk around and you'll sit here like this, and when you have this forward head posture, your hips twist and rotate. That is why I am a huge proponent on reversing the damaging effect of your modern day lifestyle by sleeping in the right position. So what I tell people to do is I want you to sleep, and you don't have to stay asleep on your back. When I talk about sleep to people, people are like, oh my God, I can't do that. I can't sleep on my back. You don't have to stay asleep on your back. You just have to fall asleep on your back, and then whatever you do in the middle of the night, you need to offset that damaging effect of that modern day lifestyle. If you're going to be like this all day, you got to stretch that neck back. If not, you're going to get lower back problems, you're going to have neck problems, you're going to have shoulder problems. So this is how you start. You lie on your back, get a pillow. I prefer the neck nest, but get a pillow and put it right under your neck and stretch that neck back. I'm looking straight up, and my body is in a neutral sleeping position. So what that's doing, that is stretching my neck back. So we're starting at the beginning doing exercises. We're working on our wobble board. We're maintaining balance. We're stimulating our brains. And then at night, we're reversing the damaging effect by reversing the damaging effect by putting the pillow in the right position. Now, other exercises to do. When you sit down and you sit your butt on a chair, you're actually shortening a muscle right here called your piriformis. So those of you that do yoga, there's something that's called downward dog or a pigeon. I can't remember which one it is. But you want to get this stretched out, right? So you kind of get there and you stretch that butt out. A lot of times people will lie on their back and they'll take their leg and they'll stretch it out. But you want to get that piriformis stretched out. Because the more that you sit, that muscle will physically shorten and it puts pressure on your lower back. So you want to get up and you want to be moving. You want to be moving. You want to be moving, right? You want to do those jumping jacks. You want to get on a nice wobble board, work on balance. You want to reverse that damaging effect by bringing that neck back with the pillow. And you want to stretch out your butt. It's all in the butt, baby. So you got to keep that thing stretched out. If not, it pulls on the lower back. The last thing that I like to do is I like to use a foam roller. Most people, they hate using a foam roller because the foam roller hurts, and that is exactly the point. The foam roller hurts. Thanks, Mike. I really appreciate that because I didn't know people couldn't hear me last time. But, Mike, look at the shirt, huh? Listen, if I can't go on vacation, I'm going to wear my vacation shirts every day in practice through the month of April. So one of the things here is a foam roller. Foam roller, easy. You want to foam roll your legs, babe. Foam roll these legs. So you kind of get down on this, and you would get down on the foam roller, and you'd work it just like that. Work those legs out. You want to work those quads out. You want to work those IT bands out. So nice. Stretch those things out, stretch the piriformis out, work those quads out, get some jumping jacks in, work on balance. Listen, if you have to be inside and you got to work from home, you want to be able to just kind of keep your health going. Just because life stops, right? The proverbial clock outside stops doesn't mean your health is. Use this quarantine to work on your health. Get exercise. Come out of this thing empowered and ready to go. Thank you so much for staying connected and being part of my tribe. Share this out. Hold on, let me go over here. Anybody have any questions? You can ask them. I just did a live call for my sleep tribe, and I am opening up for questions. Anybody has any questions? you can type those below. I don't see any questions coming in. Thank you for staying connected. As always, free your mind and your health will follow.